Heart of Houston. It's fun. It's engaging. It's Chattin' with Chelsea. She's daytime's new bestie. Here's your host, Chelsea Edwards. Come back to me.
Hey, besties. Thank you for joining me for another Chat with Chelsea. I'm your host, Chelsea Edwards. I am so thankful for you. I am thankful for this show. I am thankful for the small and mighty team that puts it together. Okay, you might be thinking to yourself, I'm thankful for so many things this time of year. You know, that's the time of year when it's on the front of our minds. But what about our kids? How do we get them to be thankful and express gratitude, you know, without having to remind them that there are children in other countries who are starving and don't have shoes, let alone the expensive overpriced ones that they want but don't have the job to pay for, but they just want to show off to their little friends. Okay, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about getting your kids to show gratitude. We also have Brennan's of Houston in. They're going to show us how to make the perfect pie crust and get your turkey right for Thanksgiving, because we don't want people dumping a bunch of gravy on it because it's so dry. They're going to tell us how to prevent that. All right, great show for you today. Now, time for a little Chelsea chat, okay? Because my son, I was so proud. He recently was in my best friend's wedding as the ring bearer. Take a look at him right there. Okay, he did a great job. But, you know, it took a lot of work, weeks leading up to it. You know, I'm telling him what to do. I'm promising him a new Hot Wheel all of this time, making sure he's going to get that Hot Wheel. Just, you know, do what you got to do. Get down that aisle. You're going to get that Hot Wheel for weeks. And then after the wedding, he did such a great job. I could not wait to give him his brand new Hot Wheel car. And after I handed to him, guess what he told me? He wanted the red one. It was the green one. He wanted the red one. So not the response I was hoping for. I wanted something a little like this, Mom. Okay, she passed her bar exam in California, and this is how her kids responded.
Girl. I can't. Oh my God. Oh my God!
I'm not crying, you're crying.
I know, right?
The kids were feeling it. The kids were so grateful that she passed. They knew what the opportunities that laid ahead.
Absolutely.
All right, we got Jamie Taylor here of Phenomenally You Counseling and Wellness.
Yes.
Okay. You got to get me to get my kid on that level right there. I wanted him crying when he got the Hot Wheel because he was so grateful.
Right.
Why is it important to teach our kids gratitude?
Two very important reasons, right? The first of which, it's an evidence-based practice. Studies show that if you can engage in gratitude expression at least once a week, it helps to reduce depressive symptoms.
Okay.
So we want to teach this tool to our children as children, rather than adults who are engaging in this tool to reduce sadness and depression.
Okay, so if we start them early expressing gratitude, at least on a weekly basis,
absolutely,
then they're less likely to battle, you know, sadness, depression, things like that.
Right.
Okay.
It helps reframe that lens, right? Because a lot of our children, which leads to the second reason, you know, they're surrounded with a lot of negativity. When you think about kids around us, adults, we often are commenting on the negative aspects of our experiences, the world, negative characteristics within ourselves, right? So that tints the lens through which they see the world.
Okay, all right. So how do we get them started? Because I know us parents, when they are not grateful for what we give them, you know, we get a little, come on now.
Right. I mean, it starts with us too.
Okay.
You know, I'm guilty as well. I'm a whole therapist, but a lot of times our parenting can also focus so much on the negative aspects of their behaviors and their responses versus some of the positive aspects of their behaviors and responses. So it starts with us kind of hitting the pause button, taking time to really, what I say, swim in
Okay.
what they're grateful for, or what's making them happy, or their positive experiences.
Okay, so we can help by making sure we highlight those good things, showing that we're
Absolutely.
grateful for the good things that they
Yes.
do. I like
Yes.
that. Okay, all right. So you mentioned this swimming in.
Swimming.
how do we swim, Jamie?
I mean, so for example, right, let's say taking the words thank you. Sometimes those two words can be empty. Right, just
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
So if someone takes their time to get you a Hot Wheels, a Hot Wheel car or something like that, really hitting the pause button and saying, wow, they really went out of their way. They spent some money just to surprise you with this car. Let's really swim in how it functions. What can we do with it? Let's play with it. Let's, so that they're really connecting with it and also thanking that person, for
Yes.
all the aspects and things that went into them getting just a simple toy.
Okay, we are going to do some more swimming in this because I want to make sure we're covering all the age groups as well.
Absolutely.
We'll have more advice with Jamie Taylor coming up after this break.
Come back to me. I've got the feeling.
All right, we're back with Jamie Taylor, therapist, and really helping get our families on the right track when it comes to gratitude. Okay, so when you say teaching them gratitude can start with just acknowledging all the little parts of the things that they get. So playing with the toy and, really go, look at the wheels.
Right.
That'll help.
Right. There's more to it than just that, right? Especially if we're looking at the little kids, right?
Yeah.
So be creative when it comes to how to express gratitude. Be creative. You can draw pictures, make paintings, collages about the positive aspects of their day, week, so on and so forth. You can make a gratitude tree. The branches, you can put little leaves on there. They can watch it grow.
Yeah, and that way you can talk through all the things that
Exactly.
they should be grateful for. We think they should be grateful for. But it could be things, the sun is shining or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
The air we breathe.
Yes.
So on and so forth.
What are your ideas when it comes to older kids?
Yeah, so when it comes to the older kids, I think it's important to combine gratitude expression with another evidence-based practice, which is mindfulness. The idea of mindfulness is hitting the pause button and really focusing and connecting on what's going on in the present moment. So with teens, oftentimes we ask them, how's your day? Good. Yeah. One word answers, right?
Yeah.
So with them, it's taking the time, maybe if it's a gratitude walk or at the end of the day, we have a sit down talk, or
What's the
before
gratitude
bed.
walk look like?
Ooh, so the gratitude walk, which I love.
I see you love it. Oh, yes.
Right. So that is hitting the pause button and noticing what's going on. The trees that we don't particularly look at or notice, right? A car passing by. What role does that play in our lives, right? Even for teens, having a vehicle to go to your friend's house, right? What role does the fresh air play in our ability to breathe and be fully present?
Yes. Okay.
At the end of the day, in bed too, right? So we're grateful for our beds, our homes, our parents, our teachers, just pausing to really connect, because a lot of times we can miss those little things.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for us oftentimes to focus on those things, but it's a great practice for the whole family to really stop and notice and be grateful. Okay, any other ideas for our kids?
I like the idea of having like a dry erase board or something like that, where parents and kids can leave little notes, you know? So maybe your child comes home from school and so they see a little note. Thank you so much for cleaning your room today. It was really helpful, so on and so forth. Or even the little ones. I saw that you tried to put your shoes on by yourself today. That helps mommy save time. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Things like that as well.
Okay. Is it wrong if the parent feels like, in my case, I am constantly having to say thank you to people, or say thank you to me,
Right. No, seriously.
Is that not a great practice?
No, it is important. You really want to make those words more meaningful, because they can be empty.
Okay.
So kids just get used to just saying them because they're empty
they want
words.
to shut you up. Okay.
Right, but pause and really help them understand what went into what they're receiving, whether it's from you or other people. So, so-and-so went to the store, purchased this item, mixed the ingredients, baked it, just so that you can have this really tasty, yummy cupcake. What are your thoughts about that?
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
That makes it taste so much better.
Right.
Right. Any other ideas for parents, especially if they have a bunch of kids? Maybe they're juggling, so they're trying to figure out what works for these different ages.
Yeah, I like that some of my clients really make time for just family discussions.
Okay.
Once a week, you know, sometimes they pull cards, or sometimes, you know, they'll just take turns expressing what they're grateful for within their days. But again, it's really having your family pause and take the time to do so, because again, it is an evidence-based practice for even us adults.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
We're just taking the opportunity to introduce this tool to our kids while they're young. That's a great opportunity.
I love doing that on a weekly basis, not just
Yes.
once a year.
Exactly.
All right, girl. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm
You're
going to try this
welcome.
though. I'll let you know. The little one is getting along there.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. We'll be back after this with the perfect crust for your table and the perfect turkey, too. Brennan of Houston has booked 1,000 seats for Thanksgiving, and there is a reason why y'all are all booked out. The food is so good. Okay.
It is, and it is so easy to make reservations versus some of the work we're going to do today, right?
Yes, yes. So
But if you want to have fun.
You're right. We got Chef Carl Walker here to give us some of the secrets. You can get the to-go meal, but you're also going to help us out if we're doing this at
Exactly,
home.
if you want to try it at home.
Okay,
you know.
all right. So let's
So-
start with the pies, because you are a pie magician.
Well,
I will call
you know, I grew up, you know, my mom, you know, I call my mom almost every day, and she's 88, and she bakes pies all the time. I like call her, hey, what are you baking? What are you making? And so even this morning, I get some tips from mom about you know, how to make
Nice.
pie.
Okay.
So basically, you know, a lot of pie, people always think about the crust, right?
Right.
You know, it's like the filling. Now, you can buy a lot of great fillings even, but a lot of it's in the crust.
We got to get it right.
So we've got to get the crust. So in here we have some all-purpose flour. We got about 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Then one of the magic things here is we got a lot of butter, and we also have some shortening in here.
A lot of butter. Now, is there a particular butter that we like to use?
I use an unsalted butter.
Okay.
As my mom said, make sure it's cold, okay?
Oh, good
So we
tip.
want to make sure it's cold. We forgot, we're going to add the salt here, so we'll mix that up real
And how much
quick.
salt is that?
That was about a teaspoon.
Okay.
All right. Then we got this little pastry cutter here. If you put your hands in it, you're going to start to melt the butter and the shortening. So I always like using something like this, and you just work that until you get it. Mom says, you know, get it down to it starts to get not like bigger than cornmeal. The larger you leave your butter,
The more work you have to do?
Oh, the less work, but the more flaky crust.
Got you, all
Because
right.
remember, the butter and the flour is going to separate, and it's going to steam, and which is going to make your pie crust flaky.
Nice. See, it smells
right.
good already. Just the butter, the smell of butter.
You got it. And then once we do that, we come back and kind of clean that off. Another tip here, remember, is you want to have ice cold water.
Okay, so everything needs to be cold, is what I'm hearing.
It does,
pretty much.
because you're again, you want to keep that butter and that shortening more whole, so that when we roll this out, it forms layers.
Got it.
And that makes it, you know, when they say flaky, oh, the crust is so flaky.
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's what you want, right?
And how long are we doing this?
Oh, until we get it to like where it starts to really kind of stick together.
All right.
So anyhow, I have one here finished.
Nice.
And so
All right.
we're going to put this on the side
move
right
that one
here.
out the way.
And
I have a feeling that you're gonna get these muscles working again too with this. Right?
You know it. You know it. So anyhow, we'll start with that. So then the fun is we got to have a little flour here. All right.
All right.
So then we got a tablecloth under there. So I'm gonna let you hold that
Gonna
tablecloth
Hold it down. I got you, Carl.
Then we got, so then, now roll it out. Now when you're rolling it out, I like to, you know, turn it. I like to kind of put the sides together a little bit, right?
Now it doesn't look like you're just like beating it to a pulp here. You're kind of you're finessing it a bit.
Remember though, that now see these spots like that?
Yeah, I see
That's
the
the
little
butter
spot.
and the
That is-
shortening that's layering in with that flour, right?
That is our butter friend we love so much. Okay. And then
so-
we're getting it out to 12 inches on here?
About 12 inches, and depending on our pie shell. but it's working pretty good. Look at that.
Yeah, all right. So if somebody doesn't have a special dough mat like this, are they eyeballing
You know what?
it?
They sell a lot of these things, but if you don't have it, just make sure you have your flour and stuff. Now, what I like to do is come back with a brush, kind of brush it off like that a little bit, so I don't want to have all that extra flour.
Yeah.
But again, see all that? See how
It
all
looks
that's-
beautiful,
Yeah,
gorgeous.
that's what we want.
All right.
Like that. Then we come back, drop
Put it in
here.
our pan here.
Press it down a little bit. We come back and we can start to take your thumb and fingers and fold it up like that.
Okay.
Kind of fold it. Boom.
Oh, okay. So you're doing
Yeah.
not just pinching, but
Just kind of
pushing in
just kinda
between the
going
fingers
like,
as well.
Like that with it.
got
right?
it, got it. I would do it, but then we
Yeah,
have
but it gets you
dough
off-
under all my nails. Let
Exactly.
you handle it, Carl. All right.
All
So
right.
this is a 12-inch pan here to match.
This
the
is
12
actually like a 9-inch pan.
9-inch pan. Okay.
9-inch pan.
All right.
But we had to have a little, little bigger because you got all the depth of it and what have you. If you got a deeper, if you got a deep dish pie pan,
Yeah.
you may have to go a little less,
Okay.
or a little bigger actually. So once we do that, then take your knife or your cutter.
Oh, and
Just
trim
knock that
the
right off,
ends.
right?
Bam, beautiful.
There we
okay.
go.
And we've got a fantastic pie crust. All right, so all we need
Now-
to do is
You need the filling, right?
You do the
So
filling?
Put the filling in, what have you. So this is pretty much like you can get an idea. Again, though, the big thing we're looking for is to make sure that has that nice layered look.
Yes, and I still see the butter. Okay, so you are going to also help us make sure our turkey is
Exactly.
right. Right?
You
Okay.
know it.
So what does that start with?
Well, when a turkey, turkey doesn't have a lot of fat in it, so it is a very lean meat. And when you start to roast that, you don't have anything to really kind of keep it nice and moist. And so one of the things that's come up with years ago, they started brining things, and they've been brining for forever, really. Anyhow, we like to put our turkey, we bone out turkeys that are twice that big.
Oh.
And then we bone them. We actually bone them out because we're slicing for 1,000 people or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And then we, season them up and roast them off.
Got
so
it.
today, what we're going to do is we're gonna start with a brine. So the brine is basically just a salt water.
All right, that's gonna keep
And
that flavor.
That salt's gonna get into it and gonna kind of help retain the juices and also add more moisture to the turkey itself.
Got it, because
okay?
that's where a lot of people have trouble getting a dry bird on Thanksgiving.
That and overcooking. You get a good thermometer.
Okay.
Okay. And then when you're going in, get down in those deep spots to check your temperature. So you get it up. You're coming up to 165. That's good. Then
Okay.
you don't need to go any further.
Good stuff.
So you ready to make some
Yeah,
brine?
let's do the brine.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
brine time.
I'm gonna add a gallon of water. All right.
All right.
And then
In our big old stock pot here.
this is where we're gonna put you to work at.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna start salt.
Salt.
We got a cup of salt. We got about a tablespoon or so of peppercorns in there.
Love peppercorns.
Drop it in.
Beautiful.
Got onions and garlic.
Okay. The whole
Drop it all
goes
in
there. Okay, all
there
of
we
it.
go. We got some celery and carrots.
Beautiful.
Now the beauty of brine is it's about as creative as you want to get. The main thing you got to have salt and water, right? And there are dry brines out there. So some people, I added for fun. I got an orange in here.
I love
some
that.
bay leaves.
You don't even have to pill them. Just drop them in.
Now I'll just drop them in.
Nice.
Okay. Now in Creole cooking, we use a lot of what we call the red and black, which is Louisiana hot sauce. Not to be confused with Tabasco. We use a lot of Tabasco, but we use that for more of the spice and the bite. We use a lot of the Louisiana hot sauce for the flavor. And of course, we use a lot of Worcestershire. So to make it a little more Creole brine, we're going to drop that in. This here, a little crab boil.
All right.
Might as well make it a real Creole.
You got
So
that
we-
whiff in there. What's that smell like?
Exactly. So we're going to add a little bit of that.
All right. Nice. Just a touch.
Okay, so we're going to take this up. We're going to bring this to a simmer. Get those flavors going. It's going to, dilute the salt and get the peppercorns and get it all kind of emulsified so that all these flavors come together.
And how long do we need to simmer?
Well, just bring it up to a simmer. That's all you really need to do.
Okay.
Bring it to a simmer, take it off the heat. Now the thing is, I don't want you throwing that fresh turkey into that hot stock,
No,
right?
not just dunking the bird in.
But we do want to save some time, and especially at home. So what we're going to do is after this is, pretend this has come up to a simmer, we're going to add a 5-pound bag of ice to it.
Oh, wow.
All right.
All right.
And then, after we've checked the temperature, make sure it's cold, then add the turkey.
All right. So we just
Okay.
need to
And
dip our finger, make sure it's
that,
cool.
that raw turkey, you know, I like to take my turkey and kind of rinse it off. Make sure you pull the giblets and things out.
Of
That's a
course.
big-
Don't forget that part.
That's
Yes.
a big. People go, where'd this come from? You know, it's like, you know, and you're like,
It's
yeah,
in
that
there. You got-
it was up in the neck or someplace where they sash it, right, for packing reasons or what have you. So yeah, get all that out and use that in your gravy and stuff. A lot of people now, they sell a lot of cool things. They have these brining bags.
Okay.
Because we are short of space, usually at home, because we got so many side dishes going on, right?
Absolutely.
So we can take this mixture here, we can put the turkey in, we can dump that brine into that bag, tie it off, put it down into your cooler. Make sure that the main thing, if I stress one thing, is make sure this turkey stays ice cold until you're ready to pull it out and roast your turkey.
Okay.
Right?
And how long are we talking, Carl?
Well, remember, you're only going to do this, if you did this the night before and you're going to roast your turkey the next morning, that's fine. If you do this in the afternoon, the day before Thanksgiving, and you say, hey, you know what, that morning I want to go ahead and put my turkey down, do it. Get that out of your way. Just put it in your cooler. Make sure you put a lot of ice on it. Because, like I said, you gotta have a lot of time to work on all your other fun stuff.
You got this now. All right. Appreciate you for coming in from Brennan from Houston.
All right.
Guys, we'll be right back after this break.
You got it.
Thank you for watching another Chatting with Chelsea. I'm so grateful to all you viewers, and I want to know what you are grateful for. Hit us up on Chelsea Show 5 on the social media pages, and we will see you on the next Chatting with Chelsea.